lose hope that the mediation efforts would result in a breakthrough and a resolution to their country's political stalemate. And this is one of the reasons, analysts say, why people on both sides of the political divide here in the Ivory Coast have begun arming themselves.
Mohamed Ado there. Well, still to come this half hour, China's premier acknowledges the growing resentment in his country over widening income gaps, corruption and social services. And a colourful turnout for Brazil's Black Ball Carnival. All the pictures from Rio when we come back.
Hello and welcome to another look at the international forecast. And we're starting in the Middle East, where at last we've got temperatures starting to push back up in the right direction. We should see temperatures getting up into the mid-20s once again here in Doha. Similar values to come to for Abu Dhabi. 1 or 2 showers, the possibility just around the southern end of the Red Sea. But I think for most of us, it's going to be a case of hazy sunshine through Sunday and indeed into Monday. Those temperatures starting to edge a little further upwards as we go on through Monday. So 26, 27, certainly a possibility for us. Plenty of warm sunshine around. Warm sunshine too, stretching across good parts of South Asia. 35, 36 Celsius there from much of India. It's up towards the far north, where we still have some wintry flurries to come. More heavy snowfall over the higher ground through Afghanistan. To the south, still a chance of 1 or 2 showers to come for Sri Lanka. But I think as we go on into next week, it should turn increasingly dry and bright. Dry and bright too across much of South Africa. The seasonal showers continue to stretch their way through Angola, Zambia, into Mozambique. Madagascar still seeing some very heavy rain over the next day or so. 23 Celsius there for Antananarivo. Heavy rain continues to cause flooding into a good part of the Amazon basin. More big downpours to come into northern parts of Bolivia and Peru.
People talk about televising the revolution. It's tweeting the revolution, Facebooking the revolution, videotaping the revolution.
A new world driven by new media.
This is a very peculiar moment in media history.
Nobody can force me in 2011 to watch whatever I don't want to watch.
Analyzing the media's role in shaping modern history. The Listening Post, at this time on Al Jazeera.
Welcome back. You're watching Al Jazeera. Let's remind you of our top stories. We've had reports of fresh shelling by government forces on the Libyan town of AlJazeera. Rebel fighters had claimed victory there after clashes with Gaddafi forces earlier on Saturday. At least 30 people were killed, most of them civilians. Anti-Gaddafi forces are celebrating in the key oil port of Ras Lanouf. They've managed to hang on to the city after repelling an attack by government loyalists. Some government soldiers in the strategic oil town have reportedly switched sides. And in Benghazi, funerals have been held for those killed in a blast at a weapons depot. More than 17 people are thought to have died. In China, Premier Wen Jiabao has pledged to reduce inflation and corruption and raise income levels. He told the annual National People's Congress in Beijing the measures are necessary to maintain social stability. Melissa Chan reports from Beijing.
It's a formal and serious affair, with officials from across the country, near and far, convening over the next 10 days. There's often a celebratory mood on the first day of Congress, with leaders looking back at the past year's economic accomplishments. But in the Great Hall of the People, China's premier used his opening speech as an opportunity for an honest assessment of what's going on in the country.
We are keenly aware that we still have a serious problem, and that our development is not yet balanced, coordinated, or sustainable.
The premier went on to discuss the threat of corruption, telling the people sitting before him that they, the officials, will be required to disclose their income, real estate, and investment details. He promised better social services to citizens.
We have not yet fundamentally solved a number of issues that the masses feel strongly about, namely the lack of high-quality educational and medical resources and their uneven distribution, increasing upward pressure on prices and exorbitant housing price increases.
Real estate is indeed a tremendous problem for most Chinese. And on Saturday came the enormous pledge from the podium to eventually provide low-income housing for 20% of the country's urban households.
Every year, Premier Wen Jiabao takes the opportunity on the opening day of the National People's Congress to remind the people the government cares. But this year, more than the past, there are greater assurances from the government to improve things such as healthcare and education. It's a more worried government. Melissa Chan, Al Jazeera, Beijing.
In India's financial capital, Mumbai, thousands of people have lost their homes after a fire engulfed the Garibnagar slum near Bandra railway station. Among them, Rubina Ali, one of the child stars of the film Slumdog Millionaire. The area is home to around 10,000 people. No one is thought to have died. Italy's Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi says he'll defend himself in court, providing he doesn't have to show up more than once a week. Berlusconi is accused of fraud and embezzlement over the acquisition of television rights for his Mediaset empire. He faces a separate, more serious trial in April on charges that he paid for sex with an underage nightclub dancer. Berlusconi denies all the accusations. And Russia's Orthodox Church has stirred controversy by calling for a national dress code. A senior cleric in the church claimed Russian women who wear revealing clothes encourage sexual assault. Neve Barker reports from Moscow.
Socialite Lena Nelidova takes us on a tour of her wardrobe. It may be -20 outside, but like many Russian women, it hasn't dulled her love for skimpy clothes.
I don't like clothes that reveal everything, but I do like clothes that cover just a little bit.
But it's precisely shows of flesh like this, championed by Russian high society and the fashion industry, that the Russian Orthodox Church have real problems with. They want Russians to think long and hard about the social impact of their dress decisions. The Orthodox Church is steeped in tradition. It advocates long skirts and headscarves for women and conservative clothes for men. But many secular and religious Russians responded angrily when senior cleric Vsevolod Chaplin claimed wearing a miniskirt could incite rape.
If a woman provokes people to think that she's a prostitute or something like that, she does bear her part of responsibility. I'm not justifying rape or improper behavior of men, but it's a part of the tradition of every religion that a woman should be humble.
Fashion industry experts hold a very different view.
This is what we're supposed to look like in summer.
Where choosing what to wear is less of a test of modesty and more an exercise in good taste.
Obviously, if you look a little bit ridiculous and you have humongously fat legs and you wear a miniskirt, it does